there are 4 things in future formats that the SEC wants that they can't have. Can you explain this to me?
No, it's not that they want that they can't have. It's that none of put it these things. These are 4 things that the fans want, okay? That they can't have all 4. The SEC fans want the SEC to go to a 9-game schedule, right?
Yes.
They want the SEC to have an annual Big Ten challenge where you have big non-conference matchups in the regular season, right?
Yes.
They also want to keep the traditional rivalry games, right? With Florida, Florida State, South Carolina, Clemson, those, right?
Sure, absolutely.
You cannot have all 3 unless
all 4.
No, those are 3 things I named.
Okay.
I'm getting to the 4th.
Okay.
You cannot have all 3 unless the SEC is guaranteed a minimum number of automatic qualifiers in the college football playoff in the next round of negotiations, which also no fans want. So you got to pick. Do you want the automatic qualifiers, or do you want to get rid of one of those other 3 things if you're a fan? Because here's why. The SEC, if you're Florida, Dave, would you ever agree to a 9-game SEC schedule and a Big Ten challenge when you're still trying to play Florida State every year? That's 11 games either against an SEC team, Florida State, or a Big Ten team.
Yeah, that doesn't seem ideal.
It does.
Again, I believe we just have to have a different committee, and they swap over every 2 years. And you have to have a committee that values a tough schedule.
Significantly values it.
Yes. I mean, right now, goodness gracious, Indiana, come on. What team? Even Tennessee, with the schedule they played. I know it's an SEC schedule, but an 8-game SEC schedule, that's just not. I don't know. The schedule to me, I think those that have listened to the channel, and please hit subscribe and like. But those that listen to the channel realize that I think Tennessee's fans are getting shorted by the schedule. Caleb disagrees and says, make it easier, make it as easy as possible. But I'm not so sure.
Well, would you? Mm-hmm. Oh, you're going to do 4 downs on this?
4 downs.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
All right, Coop.
Coop here. First down.
All right, so I'm going to ask you on these 4, how important are these to you? A 9-game schedule. This is incredibly important to me. I think it would clear up all this Nebraska canceling series and other schools canceling series. And you've got a tough schedule from the get. Sign up 3 patsies if you want. I would like at least 1 to be maybe middle of the pack. But with the committee as it is, that's not going to be the case, and I don't blame you. But 9-game schedule, I'm all about that. More SEC football, sign me up.
If you care about properly crowning a conference champion, then yes, I'm for a 9-game SEC schedule. I think it's key. But for the sake of the SEC right now, no, I'm still for an 8-game schedule. I think the setup is okay. Now, I still like the idea of 1 Power 5 game, 1 non-conference Power 5 game, which you have to do, or Power 4, I guess. But look, if you go to a 9-game schedule, Dave, I think you're going to ditch Power 5, not Power. You're going to see teams ditch Power 4 non-conference games.
All right,
and
Coop,
I kind of see more of those.
Coop, where are we now?
Coop here. First down.
Thanks, Coop.
No, it's 2nd down now. That was first down.
Did I play the wrong one? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cooper Mays here. 2nd down.
Sorry, just reset the board. Annual Big Ten Challenge games.
So obviously there's 16 SEC teams and 18 Big Ten teams. So a couple of Big Ten teams would be left out. I want to see them. And because I'm not high on the 8 because I'm against the 9-game schedule, I want the annual Big Ten Challenge games. I'm for it. And the reason I'm for it is because, again, but I'm not for it with the 9-game SEC schedule. I'm not.
Because you're taking one or the other. Which would you take?
I would take the annual SEC Big Ten Challenge.
Yeah, I just think the Big Ten's not as deep as the SEC. So the 1 through 4 games, 1 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, however you do it, there's going to be 4 that are exciting. There's going to be another 6 that are just, ugh. All right, Coop.
Tennessee Center, Cooper Mays here. 3rd down.
Traditional rivalry games. Florida.
Non-conference rivalry games.
Non-conference rivalry. Florida, FSU, South Carolina, Clemson. The Florida FSU matchup used to be my favorite. I will say there was a point in my life where my favorite thing to watch in college football was a matchup of one of the 2 of the 3 Florida schools and the Duke, North Carolina basketball game. Because I just felt like they never let you down. I mean, does it not seem like they always lived up to the billing? Whereas Michigan,
Always.
Ohio State didn't, and they would overbill that. So, but it doesn't have that feel anymore. And the South Carolina Clemson game, that's an in-state thing. I don't have a problem with ditching these traditional rivalry games for either a 9-game schedule or a Big Ten Challenge series or both.
How is Dave so much older than me, and yet I am so much more of a traditionalist in college football than he is? I don't want these. Like, no.
Grown jaded.
No, I want these South Carolina, Clemson, Kentucky, Louisville, the Governor's Cup, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Florida, Florida State. I don't even care if the rivals are one-sided. No, I want those SEC, ACC rivalries, man. That's something I live for. I wish Tennessee and Virginia Tech played every year, honestly.
It's a possession down. Where do we go?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Okay, I'm all about this. No minimum number of automatic college football playoff qualifiers, but I can go ahead and tell you this is not going to happen. There will be a minimum of college football playoff qualifiers from the Big Ten and SEC. That's fact.
Yeah, I'm totally against it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And by the way, when it does happen, that's going to make the other 3 things possible. And I'm going to tell you something else, Dave, that's going to be interesting. What do you think about this with the minimum automatic qualifiers? Here's how you make the non-conference games matter. Josh Pate laid this out to me, and I never thought about this, but he's right. You can still make those non-conference games matter. You know why?
Why?
What if you didn't do the 4 automatic qualifiers just based on who finished in the top 4 in the SEC standings? What if each conference had their own like AP poll voters who ranked the top 16 teams in the conference, just ranked them in a human poll rather than like who has the best record? So you could take the non-conference games into account.
I don't hate that. General Ursa says if we don't go to 9 conference games, then Sankey should at least pass a rule that everyone should play at least 2 Power 4 teams and shouldn't be allowed to schedule FCS opponents.
Why would Greg Sankey pass that rule?
Well, he has passed a rule for 1, but I don't know why he passed it for 2.
Yeah, you're just hurting the payout for SEC schools at that point. I mean, no, he's not going to do that. And guys, I'm trying to insist this to you guys. These FCS games, they keep those FCS programs afloat. They do.
Who cares?
I like to see I like to see.
Listen, I lived in Chattanooga. Their own fans didn't support that football team.
But it still is a good way.
Why should the SEC support that?
Because athletics is an opportunity for kids to get into college, particularly kids who can't afford to go to college, get an education.
Oh, come on. They don't even go to school anymore, Caleb.
The Chattanooga football players absolutely go to school. Maybe not the Tennessee football players, but the Chattanooga football players do. Okay? So athletics is an opportunity for so many kids from so many rough backgrounds to get a ticket to college to get out of their situation. And I don't want to see that go. And if that's FCS football being a thing, and people do watch some of those FCS games. I watched the FCS national title before.
Game no bueno will leave us with this. Dave is a heretic. I don't think so. I just think I'm all on it. I'm on point today, feeling good. And Caleb's doing the best he can to keep up. He disagrees with everything I say, but he ends up wrong.